Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 12 of Season 2 of our F1 Championship Edition Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the German Grand Prix. I must admit, yeah, I'm ever so slightly addicted to this game at the moment, as I mentioned in yesterday's video from Magny-Core. If you missed out on it, go back, check it out. There's going to probably be a lot of F106 videos this week, mainly because I might have slightly broken my recording PC. So I'm struggling to do as many videos as I normally would, but I have got a couple of big F1 series in the works at the moment that I think you guys are going to really, really love as well there. But yeah, we're back at the Hockenheimring this weekend. It's my second favourite German track inside this game. Of course, we finally returned to the points last weekend and got a few more on the board, so we are still in 9th place overall, 6 behind Jenson Button at the moment there. So my goal this season is to try and beat him. We might just be able to beat Kimi Räikkönen as well, but we want to score points between now and the end of the season in pretty much every Grand Prix we can, and hopefully therefore bring Red Bull ahead of, you know, your Toyotas and your Super Aguris. Whether that'll give us a move to a bigger team for Season 3, or whether we try and mount a challenge with a Red Bull is yet to be decided. But yeah, let's head then here back to the Hockenheimring. I must admit, the Hockenheimring is one of the only ones on this game that it does still feel odd racing at the modern version. You know, I kind of just assume because we got so many old school and classic tracks on this game, I would, obviously, it'd be impossible because it wasn't in the real-life season, but I would have really loved to race around the classic Hockenheimring at some point on this game. But, you know, it is what it is. Can't really kind of change something that happened 20 years ago now. Bye, I really, really feel old. But yeah, you guys are still obviously giving me tips and things like that. So what I'm going to start doing now as well is during Q3... we're actually going to try and do a few more laps and use it as a bit of a race simulation run. Slightly worried it's going to wreck the tyres. But yeah, the Hockenheimring, it's really easy to bin it or simply get destroyed at turn 1. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to the guy that keeps doing race reviews in the comments of these videos. He posts them quite late in the night when I see them. But it's genuinely one of the first things I do now after one of these videos has gone live. Is the next morning I'll get up and I'll read his race review of the race that I did. Turn 1 as well now feels so much better in this car. You know, it's not just kind of turn it in and pray anymore. You can actually get some sort of precision with this car. Some of you have been saying that the Red Bull is actually a very good car on this game. Not convinced it's a world beater, especially not in my hands, but it does feel decent. Maybe, I think we could, if things went our way, mount a decent challenge.
Welcome to the home of the German Grand Prix Hockenheim. Qualifying is about to start, and after the first 15-minute session, the slowest 6 cars will take their place at the back of the grid in tomorrow's race.
I mean, I really want to, obviously now we're in a decent car, start removing Q1 from the edits. But I know full well if I do end up doing that, then we'll bin it immediately and end up down in P22 on the grid. So I'm not going to do that yet, but maybe in the near future. Come on, Super Aguri, get out of the way. God, imagine driving one of those cars. Imagine winning in one of those cars. It would take a really special driver. That's one way to take turn 1. Luckily, the game's pretty lenient with track limits on the exit, but a nice drift right the way through. Oh, there's Toyota, very, very slow into the final sector. Don't spin, don't spin. Come on, get back on the road. Stop rally crossing, Matt. Can never quite get my first lap down in Q1, but as we make our way through the final few corners, yeah, that's obviously cost me a little bit, but hopefully not too much. Come on, Toyota, get on with it. That's where you finally decide to jump out of the way. Lovely stuff. Well, that's an even worse line through turn 1 than I took first time round, and yeah, this lap is in the bin. Well, despite the mistake then, in Q1, that lap's still, yeah, good enough to get through and into Q2. I guess now I've got to remember that there's not going to be a shock Super Aguri trying to make it through. But yeah, we've absolutely got the pace to make Q3. Whoa! That was odd. So I ran further wide through there in Q1, and didn't spin. That time around, I barely look at the curb, and we just get sent to Narnia. Right, anyway, first run in Q2 coming up then. We want to be aiming for an 18 here, I reckon. That should be enough to see us into Q3. Nice line through turn 1, a little bit wide, but again, you can get away with that. To be fair, back in the early to mid-2000s, track limits were less of a concern than they are nowadays. If you don't believe me, go back and watch some of the Austrian Thanks for that. Go back and watch some of the Austrian qualifying sessions from the early 2000s. Track limits were a joke. Nice and tidy line as we make our way into the Sachs curve. Basically just going to have to avoid that curbing for the rest of the weekend now, because I'm rather scared of it. But yeah, let's see if this first lap is a good representative still. Got a couple of cars battling just in front of me there. BMW Sauber and a McLaren. As we make our way up towards the line. That's an 18.9. That's not a bad time by any stretch of the imagination. Need to try and get past that Sauber though. Well, we were helped by a bit of slipstream then from Nick Heidfeld down the back straight that isn't really a straight round here. That's an awful line. Oh, yeah, that's the lap gone. What would it have been anyway? No! I've been slowed down as well. We were half a second up at the end of Q2. We're definitely on the pace here. It's quite a tight bunch here then in the Hockenheimring. But yeah, into Q3 we go up in P7 there. Like I said, I'm going to try and do a few more laps now in Q3. Get my eye in ready for the race. So this is going to be a weird qualifying session where I might well get a good lap on the board. I just don't know. Well, I've gone slightly over half race distance of fuel. But the other thing I am conscious about still is the tyre wear. So I really don't want to do more than sort of 4 or 5 laps on this tank, or on this set of tyres really is more of the concern. They will last, but they're just not particularly fun when they're particularly worn out. So yeah, let's see if we can obviously first of all get under 120 again, but maybe we can get close to an 18 once more. Again, a little bit wide through turn 1. Again, I don't care. Oh, a little bit wide there through the penultimate corner. Do not want to invalidate like we did in Q2. Towards start-finish line, though. What is the first time on the board going to be? 19.99 there. So there we go. First target of going under 120 achieved. And now I've learned, do not hit that AstroTurf on the outside of turn 1. No! Again, that curb. You cannot touch that curb. That is still going to be scary come race day. We are... Oh, no, we're not fast anymore. Fisichella's gone quicker. When I actually want to know something, James Allen just stays quiet. Well, I'm shocked and quite frankly disgusted to find out that Jacques Villeneuve has made Q3 here around the Hockenheimring, but hopefully we're still going to be able to beat him by the end of the session. 19.4. We go back to the top of the board there. Has taken me a few laps, but very happy with that lap. Well, there we go then, end of Q3, and Fisichella and Raikkonen both finding another 0.4 of a second over myself there. Kimi casually putting 1.5 seconds on his teammate Juan Pablo Montoya here, but we line up P3 on the grid then for the second time in our Red Bull career. Luckily, the Michael is down in 7th, so fingers crossed we can beat him. Ideal scenario, Michael and Jacques take each other out at turn 1.
You join us for what is bound to be an action-packed German Grand Prix, coming to you from the world-famous Hockenheim circuit. The drivers like the Hockenheim circuit because it produces some great racing. Rubens Barrichello has good memories of this track because he won his first race here back in the year 2000. Unbelievably, he qualified for the race way back in 18th place. It's a clear day here at the moment, good visibility for the drivers. Giancarlo Fisichella will start from pole. Second is Kimi Raikkonen. They're followed by Yu in third. Fourth is Fernando Alonso. They are followed by Felipe Massa in 5th. Jenson Button completes the 3rd row. Michael Schumacher lines up in 7th. Jarno Trulli occupies 8th on the grid.
Well, I'll be honest, this place scares me more than most inside F1 Championship Edition. Turn 1 here, the AI like to go a little bit crazy, so starting up towards the front hopefully means we can avoid some of that. But honestly, I'm not going to hold my breath either. Yeah, Team 1 a podium. I think, depending on how the first couple of laps go, that might just be doable today. You know, we want to try and build on that P5 result from last weekend, but this track is scary, so staying out of trouble is going to be critical. A lot of dangerous curbs. Our tyres pretty much up to temperature then, just waiting on those cars at the rear of the field to line up on the grid. But we are here ready for the German Grand Prix.
Only seconds to go before we're racing. You can really feel the tension. Go, go, go!
Oh, not a good start.
Raikkonen gets off to a lightning start. So did you. Here come the drivers ploughing into the first corner. Fisichella leads out of turn 1. Behind him is Kimi Raikkonen. You're following him. And as the drivers hurtle into the second corner, Fisichella's still leading. Behind him is Kimi Raikkonen. You're following him.
Well, Kimi Raikkonen is coming to this weekend like a man possessed there. Fantastic qualifying and has taken the lead. Off Fisichella down at turn 1. Fisichella, though, is struggling. We'll go clean around his outside there up the top of the hill. But yeah, I'm into P2 we go then. I was so scared through turn 1.
At turn 6, it's Liuzzi. He's retiring from the race, and that's a huge disappointment for him. It was Speed who was also involved. He seems to have got away with no damage, though. Very lucky indeed.
Yellow flags are out in force. Yellows in sectors 1 and 2, so don't do anything silly like overtaking.
Yep, got to make sure we don't do that. But yeah, Kimi Raikkonen is a man on a charge at the start of this Grand Prix. But yeah, big moment down at the rear of the field apparently. So that's really spread out the grid even more. Works for us, I suppose, for when I do inevitably bottle it. Is look at that Raikkonen slow out the final corner. So by the end of lap 1, we have moved ourselves to the lead. I don't know, as fast as the race. We were leading at the end of lap 1 there, but through we go. I'm sure Raikkonen, though, was probably going to try and find a way back past me ASAP.
You now lead the race. Raikkonen is second. Alonso third. He's up from fourth. Fourth is Fisichella. With a drop of 3 places. Felipe Massa is fifth. Michael Schumacher sixth. Seventh is Button. And Trulli is eighth.
Well, yeah, Raikkonen there, banging wheels with me through turn 2, so I very much gave him the Schumacher treatment on the exit of the corner there and put him completely out into the grass. Just kind of saying, you know, yeah, you can try that, but I will come back swinging. I mean, to be fair, if this game is realistic, Kimi will find a bizarre way to retire from the GP. Kimi Raikkonen, he's look at the Germany. Was utterly bizarre throughout his entire time in Formula 1. Barely ever finished a race here. But yeah, Raikkonen though, 3 seconds back already.
You now lead the race. Raikkonen is second. Alonso third. Fourth is Fisichella. Felipe Massa is fifth. Michael Schumacher sixth. Seventh is Button. And Trulli is eighth.
Just like I said, like we did last weekend in Magny Court, try and build up a little bit of a lead early on for when I do inevitably make that mistake. But yeah, Kimi seems to be struggling just a little bit now. Oh, Raikkonen. What's happened to Kimi? Kimi's way down the order. Is he pit? No. He's out of the Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen, I told you. I did tell you he'd retire. So there we go. F1 CE is realistic. Kimi Raikkonen out of this race. And it's given us an even bigger lead over Fernando Alonso. Oh, oil down somewhere. Got to be very careful of that. That'll be Kimi's exploded McLaren engine. There it is. So we've avoided that. No, there it is.
Great work! You just posted a new fastest lap time.
And the last thing I needed was, when I was already nervous about the wheel spin, was then my engineer yelling down my ear. Oh yeah, looking at the timing, so Fernando Alonso, now with some free track space, is finally unleashing the full pace of that Renault, and I'm sure would love to even further extend his title lead over the Michael. I mean, Felipe Massa, I still believe, is P2 in the championship at the moment, so yeah, Ferrari seemingly just a little bit off at the moment, but our top 5, the same 5 drivers as it was last weekend at the end of Magny Court. No, 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 no. There you go. Told you I'd spin. I knew I'd spin. Just got a little bit wide there over the grass. We'll try and get back on the road. And we will still maintain P2. I'll say, unless Fernando Alonso is on a lot less fuel than me, I'm not really convinced we've got the pace to match him anyway. We were setting personal bests before that spin. And Alonso still was going upwards of a second a lap faster than me. I'm not going to give up just yet, but yeah, that Renault is flying here. Apart from the final corner, I seem to reliably able to make a lot of time there. Oh, oil down, get off the line. Don't know where it is. Was it there? I don't know. We already had a jump scare.
Alonso leads. You're second. Fisichella third. Massa fourth. Button is fifth. Montoya sixth. He's moved up from eighth. Barrichello is seventh. That's a gain of 2 places. And Schumacher is eighth.
Looks like the Michael then has already come in for his first stop of the day. I'm going to go for my second spin of the day. Come on. No, don't get wedged over the curb. Oh, dearie me. Come on, go. 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 And now I'm behind Jenson Button. Love it. Love it. I was going to say, I don't know how long the oil stays on the tyres. Apparently longer than I was expecting. Whoa, look at that. We got no grip left. I'm going to have to box now. I'm going to try and box now. No, team won't confirm yet. Yeah, these tyres are shot, though. Yep. Wonderful. So, a little bit of an early box then. Hopefully he's going to get us out of trouble on this set of tyres. Don't understeer into the pit lane. But yeah, very, very last moment kind of call. A necessary call, though, I think. We need to try and make sure we get a good pit stop today. It's, yeah, one of those... That's a penalty. Easily a penalty for Fernando Alonso there. He comes out right in front of me. Let's go like that. Da-da-da. Oh, beautiful. 8.8, we'll take that. Always really happy when we go sub 9 seconds there on the stops. But I'll be ahead of the Michael still. No. Schumacher out a long way ahead of me.
Take it easy while the tyres are blue. More grip.
The halfway mark. Fisichella leads. Massa is second. Button is third. In fourth place, Rosberg. Next is Ralf Schumacher. Alonso sixth. Villeneuve is in seventh. Heidfeld is in eighth place.
And now for a quick weather update. The clouds have been building slowly throughout the day, and it looks as though we have rain. This race is going to turn into a strategic battle for our teams and drivers out there.
Oh, Giancarlo Fisichella's basically won this then by the looks of it. But how had they never warned me? There was rain on the horizon. We could have been on for a fantastic strategy. Oh, Fisichella has still boxed, but I got no idea what's... Well, I got no idea, yeah, when it's going to be time to box. Webber already in, but I think that was for his normal stop. Whether he'll bolt on a set of inters is yet to be decided.
Fisichella leads. Alonso is second. Third is Heidfeld. That's a gain of 1 place. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. Felipe Massa is fifth. He's moved up from sixth. Jenson Button in sixth. You're seventh. And Villeneuve is eighth. He slipped from third.
I really did and ah about whether it was worth going down the inside of Jenson Button at turn 1. Sensibly decided it would not be worth it. We all know what happens when the rain starts falling on this game. The AI just become OP. Like, ridiculously OP. So, yeah, we're going to be in for a very, very defensive drive towards the end of this. Barrichello is 4 seconds back. Not too sure what's happened to Juan Pablo Montoya. I believe he might also be out then of the Grand Prix. So McLaren, home race, of course, for Mercedes, have had a nightmare here. But yeah, I'm basically just going to try and box whenever Jenson does. Well, we're seeing loads of AI behind us into the pit lane then. We got oil out, though. Someone's got issues. Just trying to stay off that line as best as possible. I think, yeah. Oh, no, I broke too late. Oh, get it slowed down. That was okay. We avoided the oil. That's the most important thing. But I think, yeah, now is probably the time to box as Heidfeld might have got the jump on everyone. Oh, no, look at that. No grip at all. No grip whatsoever as we make our way through the final couple of turns, and we're going to go for another pirouette then. Oh, that's, I mean, similar to what all the drivers were doing back in 2019, wasn't it? Verstappen and many others there, but a lot of cars in front of us, Ferrari and Renault, having to double stack then, so we might have made up a little bit of time on some of them. Don't know who that is. Jenson Button's been held up atrociously by myself. But yeah, we've only got a box tyres this time, so it should be a quick stop. Come on, go. And it was slower than when we put fuel in. Where are we going to re-emerge, though, in this Grand Prix? Just wait and see, heading out of the pit lane. We're still in 8th, we're still in the points. Let's try and hang on to this then.
The tyres are shown as green on the indicator. Whilst they're blue, you'll have less traction.
Yeah, this is suddenly, I mean, any chance of the win would have been gone just because of how quick they are in the rain, but yeah, can we beat out Rosberg and Ralf Schumacher to the finish? I mean, the problem is the AI can be upwards of a second a sector faster than me in these conditions. Rosberg's already brought down that gap to under 2. We're going to have to get the elbows out. It is for the final point of the day, but I do also want to finish. I don't mind having changeable condition races. What I do mind about is not having the ability to know when it's going to change, or at least have a rough idea of what's going to happen in a race. Because the amount of times on this game I would have changed my strategy around, sacrificed qualifying if we needed to go further into a race, or something like that, is unbelievable. But of course you just don't get the opportunity on this game. You just don't know what's going to happen with the weather. Usually then it's Michael Schumacher that wins out from it, and he has again today, because he's all the way up into 2nd. No, there you go. There's a spin. Knew that was going to happen. Great.
Well, that incident was bad enough to warrant his retirement today. You got involved in that scrape as well.
I cannot believe that. What is Rosberg?
5 laps to go. Fisichella leads. Michael Schumacher is in 2nd. Alonso 3rd. He's up from 4th. Heidfeld 4th. Button is 5th. Massa 6th. Barrichello is 7th. Next is Ralf Schumacher. That's a gain of 2 places.
Well, you'd think if a car was slow and the wrong way round on the racing line, you might use your brake. Apparently not. Iffy Nico Rosberg there, and, well, I think he was probably going to get me anyway based on the pace he had, but it is yet another DNF in this godforsaken game.
It's been a captivating weekend here at Hockenheim. Plenty of action, plenty of surprises. It's been typical of the type of racing we get here. I've enjoyed it enormously, and we hope you have too. Next stop on the Formula One circus is just 7 days away, with a trip to the tight and twisting Hockenheimring, 19 kilometres outside of Budapest. We look forward to you joining us there for the action. See you next week. Goodbye.
There we go. Giancarlo Fisichella, our race winner this weekend, got incredibly lucky with that strategy, but he beats out the Michael and the 2 teammates there. A lot of DNFs though towards the end of that one. Rosberg obviously retired because he hit me. Schumacher as well though, ended up a lap down, so not too sure what must have happened to Ralph at the end of that one. But yeah, really disappointed with the way that ended up. Like I said, you know, when you get the rain, in the dry we didn't have the pace to match Fernando. And then you get into the rain and we don't have the pace to match like a Williams or something like that. It is very frustrating still on this game. But it does mean championship-wise, it's still a 5-point lead for Fernando. But yeah, Giancarlo Fisichella now extends his gap over Michael Schumacher. Barrichello ahead of Montoya as Button jumps Kimi Räikkönen. We're still in 9th place, though a few points ahead of Trulli, but Christian Klien getting his first points of the season on the board now, tied with a handful of other drivers there, as Albers gets another big result. Red Bull still just behind Super Aguri. Honda, though, jumped McLaren with that big win. But yeah, we need to hope that, of course, heading into the next couple of rounds, we can score some big points. Podiums, race wins are doable. And the Hockenheimring, of course, the track where I scored my first points on this game. Maybe a big result can be done there. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.